and welcome to Let's Talk with Parul. If you feel constantly mentally exhausted, you're probably going through the same thing that almost all women have felt at some point of time, but never quite able to point it out, to never quite able to put a finger on it, or even realize how universal the experience is. I'm talking about the silent effort that women put in to keep things going, an invisible burden, so to speak, that is usually on women to constantly plan, organize, manage, remember that endless list of tasks that go into running a household. And sometimes it takes something as simple as a cartoon blog post to give us a light bulb moment, to put things in perspective, as it did with computer science engineer turned comic book artist Emma's very easy to grasp cartoon representation of women submerged under the mental load, titled You Should Have Asked. Emma has also published a book titled The Mental Load, a feminist comic. And her current work covers gender, race, and other socio-political issues, all aimed at making people think. Joining us across oceans and time zones is Emma. Please welcome Emma, and thank you so much for joining us, Emma.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
No, we are absolutely honored to have you here. I think that particular blog post of yours, You Should Have Asked, it strikes a chord with every single person who has read it. Well, women normally. I don't know how much of a chord it strikes with men, but I would like to talk a little more about that. And, I don't think we know very many women who are not by default the household manager. Many like to be that, many like to take on that role. Many choose to be. But for most people, they're just expected to handle household chores. Most women, we don't even recognize that, the immense mental load that is put on us. So we're talking about a term called mental load. Could you describe that a little more in detail for our audience?
Sure. The mental load is the fact that you have to always think about what must be done in the house. It is not about doing housework. It is about thinking about it, planning it. If you bear the mental load, you will be the one who thinks about what must be about to fill the fridge, about laundry to be done, according to who has an important meeting this week, who has sport and has to have his uniform ready, who eats at home and who doesn't. You have to think about everyone's needs and plans, and you have to organize housework accordingly. So usually research tends to count how much time is spent doing housework, and this is great. This is already something to have those statistics, but it is very difficult to count how much time is spent thinking about it, because it is invisible, and it is work. It is work which has for too long been not recognized as such.
That's right. Nobody recognizes that mental load of planning, remembering, organizing as work. That's just something that one is expected to do. I don't think women realize it either.
No, and the funny thing is, when I speak about the mental load, a lot of men come in my comments and write me some emails to say, but if you want something done, just ask. And I answer,
Yes.
That's especially what I'm trying to explain. Asking is work. Thinking and asking is work. So if you ask us to ask, you're asking us to do your work. You have eyes, you can see things which must be done.
And this brings me to my next question, that yes, of course, this is one part of it, that partners, mostly men, do tend to do that. They tend to turn around and say, you should have just asked. But I'm going to extend that further to even other members of the family, including older children. Younger children, I'll exclude from the conversation right now, but definitely older children or other members of the family. How is it that we've come to this position where everybody's just sitting around waiting to be asked? How do you think that has evolved? And what do we do to actually, change the situation?
Mm. Well, first of all, I think there is a kind of a trend where what a good mother is, and a good mother has to be perfect on all fronts. You have to work. It's great because it allows
Yes.
you to earn money and be kind of independent. But you also have to have a very clean house and perfectly raised kids. You have to do a lot of activities with them. You have to love it. You have to be pretty and seen, and you have to do sports, and you have to have hobbies. You have to be able to do everything at the same time. So when you grow up as a woman, you identify yourself to this. I think this ideal image of what a woman should be, and you try very hard to do this, but it's impossible. So you go towards, I think, burnout.
Yes.
So that there's a lot of pressure on women to manage, to be able to do everything, and to not ask others to be your equals.
That's right.
In housework. But I think there are also maybe two things. First thing about kids is that taught kids to do housework is work, and it's very difficult.
Right.
Most of the time, when you already do everything I already talk about, you are too tired to be patient with your kids when you will ask him to learn something, and he will grumble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He will do it. Maybe he won't do it, or he will do it in a bad mood. He will negotiate, and it is so tiresome
It's stressful.
to do this. Yeah, most of the time you will think, I'm so tired, I will do it myself. So teaching kids and husbands, unfortunately, to to do those work is work, and it's very difficult. And lastly, I think also we have to take into account the emotional load issue, because we have to. We are raised to do housework as girls, but we are also raised to do it with a smile. We are raised to do it like it is not difficult for us, and this is the emotional load women bear to do things, to think about things, and also to do it so that it doesn't disturb others, so that others feel good seeing us do it, so that they don't feel guilty. Emotional load is to make your family and you, the people around you, good and not guilty. So you will do it, and you will do it with a smile, or when they are not looking, or you will not be too noisy. So for the family, it may be like it is not difficult for you to do it, because you don't complain. So they may not understand how difficult it is until they have to do it themselves.
Absolutely. And like I was telling you, this month of March, the theme for International Women's Day has been choose to challenge. And here it is. Here is something all of us can choose to challenge, that emotional load and that very mental load that we're talking about. That's certainly something we all need to challenge. So one of the solutions that you think will work to reduce the mental load on women is paternity leave. Another solution you mentioned is education. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do men need to be educated about, first of all?
I think education is a very large concept. So it is not only about reading things and talking. I think it is a lot about experiencing things. So I think that when they are young, boys have to be taught how to feel and express all the existing emotions, because too early boys are taught that they cannot be sad, they cannot are afraid, they cannot feel love, they cannot be sensible. And I think if you're a boy and you want to be among boys, if you want to be accepted in a boys' world, you soon learn that you have to shut down a lot of your emotions.
That's right.
Yeah, this is a big issue, because later it leads to adult men. You are unable to identify some emotions, unable to feel empathy for the others. Maybe not unable, but it is difficult for them. So how can you have your partner feel how alone you feel when you are alone on your maternity leave? How distressed you feel when you have to take all the housework? How can you expect him to feel that if at 5-6 years old he had to shut down all this empathy, all those emotions? So there's a lot to do, I think, at school, in families, and also I really believe in the power of literature and films and comics to show boys who don't are afraid to be sensible, to cry, to feel things.
Your work is so impactful because you presented it so simply with absolute clarity. You're so articulate in how you presented it. It is very impactful, and popular culture like this, popular mainstream culture, will definitely make an impact.
Thank you. But my work is kind of theoretical, and I think we need some strong, popular characters who are not a girl who needs to be saved and a boy who needs to be strong. we have to see a lot of other characters and very various characters. And because I think the trope, which is kind of new, of the girl who is strong and who is a super girl, I think it can also make girls feel kind of lame, you know. You watch at this and you see, I'm not Buffy against the vampires. I'm not like this. I'm unable to fight, and so we have to offer some realistic characters which are strong, but not only in a physical way, also in a mental way, and make sensibility popular among boys. So, about the maternity leave, I think that there should be a paternity leave which is as long as the maternity one. We should end the idea that maternity leave is made to I think heal from pregnancy and giving birth, because it is not done for this. It is a time where you need to take care of the baby. So when you take care of the baby, you do not rest and you do not heal.
It's not a holiday, like you said in some of your work.
Not at all. And lastly, I think that paternity leave should include a time where the father is alone, because when I went to Quebec, Montreal, at Montreal, I discussed with women, and I told them, here it's great. Paternity leave is so long. I think it's 5 months or something. So you are you share the load, you share the parenting. It should be great. And women told me no, because my partner took his paternity leave and went on a boat with his friend.
Oh,
So I think
that should be illegal.
yeah. I was so angry. Even there, it's not enough. So
that's wrong.
There should be some kind of obligation where you are alone. You are alone, so you have to take things. You have to take things, take the load, and do the work. You're alone. You have to do it, and the woman can go on a holiday or whatever.
Right, absolutely. The ones who deserve it.
Yeah.
My next question is really about the pandemic, and you've written about the crisis also. You've written one crisis will be enough. We don't need any more than that. In India, we've talked to a lot of women on Momspresso, and they all expressed that, it was overwhelming from them, especially the initial days when we were all under a lockdown, a proper lockdown, where the entire family was at home. We were working from home, studying from home. A lot of us are still doing, most of that. But the initial days especially were extremely tough, and it was overwhelming. There was just the entire load, physical, mental, every single thing came on women. It obviously seems to be quite a universal thing.
I don't know, but as patriarchy is all over the world, I would tend to think that, yes, because when in usual times when you're at work, you think about housework, but at least you do not have to do it. So during the pandemic, we had to think about everything at the same time, but you also had, we also had to do everything at the same time. And I completely stopped working during the pandemic. I tried, I couldn't do it. So I took time to draw, I think, 1 or 2 comics, and then I stopped. I was unable to do it. But for some women, it is not an option. So you have to work, and you have to be a teacher, and you have to be a mother, and you have to be to take care of housework, everything in the same time. I think there had been lots of burnouts during this period, and we are not finished yet. So
yeah. Well, my last question to you, Emma, is all about feminism. I've seen over time the word itself has kind of taken on a negative connotation. A feminist is seen as someone who's asking for the wrong things, or asking for unreasonable demands. You say that you became a feminist much later in your life, after you had your son, in fact. So what does feminism mean to you, and what do you think is its relevance in today's day and age?
Well, when I really understood what feminism was, what I felt is I was very relieved, I think, because I felt like I was not crazy, unskilled, aggressive, everything. It was not my fault. And I've been trying for so much time to find my place in the workplace, and I finally got that it would always be more difficult for me than for my male colleagues. So when I got this, I stopped pressuring myself, I think. And I understood that, so we are not, all women in the world are not at the same oppression level, I say, because as a computer scientist, okay, I suffer as a woman, but I do not suffer from I have not money issue, for example, and I do not experience racism
Right.
or homophobia. So
Right.
I think we have to. We can't say that we are all oppressed in the same way, but when I relate, when I tell a story about the mental load or about benevolent sexism, a lot of women who I don't know, I've never seen them before. I've never talked to them. We do not live in the same country, and
Right.
they experienced it as well. So feminism, I think, gave me the feeling that we were all bound by some similar experiences, with also some different experiences that we have to take into account. But until I think 30 years old, I thought that feminists were asking too much, that we did not need feminism anymore. And I only understood that they were right when I experienced things very badly at work. And then I went back in my life and realized that I've always been experiencing sexism since I'm like 6 or 7. I was called out in the street. I have been made comments on my body very early. So yeah, I have been needing feminism since I was born almost.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it. And so feminism is a tool for us to emancipate, and I think we can use it, but we also have to feed it and make it progress with today, with actual times. Like technology now is a new tool, and we have to use it to feed feminism.
Well said. That's really very well explained and very well put. And like I said, these are all topics that a lot of our viewers are going to relate with. We see it every day, we experience it every day. Sometimes we just don't know what this is all about. And it's work like yours that really brings it out, calls it out, and gives us a little better perspective. And like you said, makes us feel relieved that it's not just us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma. This has
Thank
been
you.
such a wonderful discussion. Thank you for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.